Get started. Just welcome everyone. Thank you, Teresa, for joining us. Um, we are recording this session just so everyone is aware, and this will be posted on our pre-arrival website and shared out after this session. So if you want to refer back to any of the slides or any of the information, we will have that available probably in about 2 days after this session. I'm going to turn this over to Teresa. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, good morning. Good morning, I should say, in Fort Collins. I'm sure there's a variety of time zones with so many of you here. So glad that you all were able to come and listen to my presentation. Again, this is housing and dining options for international students. And so I'll be going over some of the details for finding housing here for next fall for the academic year. Some of the things that I'll be going over are the application process and some of the things to expect. Also, if you have questions, you can put it in the chat. I'll try to keep an eye on it throughout the presentation. And at the end, I'll save some time to go back and look at some of the questions. Hopefully, Brahman can also bring those to my attention if I missed any. And then if you're brave enough, you can come off of mute and ask a question at the end as well. So with that, I'm going to get started. So just a little bit about myself, she, her pronouns, Teresa Metzger. I'm the Assistant Director for Projects and Outreach and Housing and Dining Services. So my role is to do a lot of these presentations. So you might meet me when you come to campus in the summer for some of your orientation. And also we have a customer service team that is available on phone or through our web bot or our chat function, which I'll direct you to at the end of the presentation. So just some general details about housing in general at CSU and in the Fort Collins area in the US. For CSU specifically, our on-campus housing includes residence halls and apartment communities. And residence halls tend to be the traditional US housing where first year or undergraduate students live on campus in a shared room, either with a semi-private bathroom or a shared bathroom. And I'll show you a floor plan. And then we also have apartments that tend to be for upper division, undergraduate students, graduate students, and family housing. So I'll kind of talk about those two different types of housing today in the application process. Specifically at CSU, our first year students are required to live in the residence halls, and that housing is guaranteed. One thing I will share is that we do have limited housing options on campus. So this is one of the things that we will probably run out of housing at some point. And so we want to make sure you have all the options and information about what we provide on campus and then other options for off campus. That being said, housing is not guaranteed for returning students who are coming back as juniors, seniors, transfer students transferring from other universities, or graduate students. So that's something to be aware of. In addition, individual students must find their housing independently. So generally, we don't have academic programs arranging housing for students. Students are responsible to find housing on their own. And as I kind of shared, housing in Fort Collins is in high demand. And so whether it's the housing that we have on campus or off campus, those are the two locations where you can look for housing, either off campus options, which you can find on Off Campus Life online on the website, or on campus housing through housing.colostate.edu. I'll go back to that as well throughout the presentation. Other things to kind of talk about is that there are monthly rents billed to students' account with our on-campus housing. It's, again, rarely CSU faculty or staff are arranging or securing housing on behalf of incoming students or scholars. Some of the other things to think about with housing at CSU and in this area is most student housing is rented by bedroom and not by apartment or unit. But then we also have family or multifamily rented by unit. So if you are a family looking for it, that is a situation where it is by unit, and our family housing is like that. Other things to think about when you're looking for housing is that extra costs for things like utilities, trash removal, cable, TV, internet, things like that. that is an extra cost on top of what you're paying for off-campus housing. Generally, for on-campus housing, we have those things included. And to get more information about off-campus options, Off-Campus Life, ocl.colostate.edu. They have a great website that provides a whole list of apartments that work really well with our international student population. And no social security is required for some of those leases and working with those entities. One of the things to think about with housing is that when we have apartments, what's included in the apartment? It's furnished. It comes with a sofa, a chair, a desk, a bed, dining table and chairs, refrigerator, stove, sometimes in a microwave. The things that are not included are generally bedding, towels, rugs, dishes, pots and pans, things like that. Also, parking is not included. So when you move on campus, you'll have to buy a parking pass and generally have that kind of own transportation within on campus as well. So getting a parking pass. The other thing to be aware with living on campus at CSU in the States is there's no smoking on campus, and most off-campus apartments have that same policy. So no smoking. And then one of the things to clarify is although marijuana is legal in the state of Colorado, it's not legal for on campus at CSU and within our CSU policies. So something to be aware of with that.
And it's actually not legal for international students ever.
There you go. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. All right, I'm just gonna check really quick at some of the questions. Um, so one of the questions was about having a dog on campus within the apartments areas. So generally, dogs are not allowed on campus. One of the things that we do allow is for emotional support animals or an ADA accessible animal. So one of the things that a student needs to do is go through our Office of Disabled Students to make sure that they get an approval for that. Once you provide the documentation and get approval, then we will be provided with a recommendation to allow that. So if that's something, that's the only really way that we would allow to have a dog on campus if it was for a medical reason. All right, I'm going to move on to our next slide. So why would what are the benefits of staying on campus? I think the location is the biggest benefit. We're walking distance from all of our academic areas, research locations, labs, things like that. The rec center, the library, our CSU Health Network. It's really centralized location. It's easy to get to classes. It's easy to get to all the amenities that you need on campus. There's also a lot of academic support for both undergrad and graduate students, whether it's finding study spaces within our apartments or residence halls or a connection with faculty. It's pretty easy to make those connections. Lots of campus resources. As you'd be new to CSU, our staff are generally very informed about all policies, procedures, how to navigate campus. And so either going to our front desk at a residence hall or a community center in the apartment communities, there's always someone there who can answer your questions and refer you to the right resource on campus. So we're really there to support you. I also say the 24/7 security, there's always either someone at the desk or available through our duty phones or in our community center. So we always have great security and support with our staff who are on duty. In addition to our CSU PD partnership, where they're patrolling campus and our residential areas as well to make sure everything is safe and secure with our access and things like that. Um, HDS Housing and Dining Services is also a really great opportunity for student employment. So if you're needing a job while you're at CSU, working for housing and dining with our dining services, facilities, we're a great employer for students who are new to the university. And again, it's a great place to work that's close to where you live as well. And then again, academic success, we really want you to think of where you live as an extension of your academic experience, not just your classrooms and your labs and things like that. We want to make sure that where you live is a environment where you can make connections, study with fellow students, and also find a quiet space where you can get your academics completed while you're on campus. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next slide here. So I'm going to go over some of the residential options. These options are more pertinent to undergraduate international students. However, international graduate students are able to live in the residence halls if that is something that you want to explore as an option. Sometimes we have more availability depending on the year that we're having. And so there could be an option for you to apply for a residence hall if that is something of interest. So I'm going to go to um, our display or our footprint of what a room looks like. So these are generally our two um, sort of types of rooms. The first one here, this is a community style room where it's generally two double rooms that are connected by a semi-private bathroom. In the United States, we call that Jack and Jill or a shared, basically meaning that you can use that both rooms have access to this bathroom. So there's two beds and two desks and all the amenities with drawers. And then there's a vanity on both sides and then a shower and a commode on this side. So this is what we call a suite style room. We do have some spaces that have a double room with a private bathroom. Those are less available. And there's about 40% of our halls do have this room type. The second room type that we have is a community style room. And this is where you have two students living together in a room with two desks and all the dressers, chairs and beds that we have. And then the students will share a common space bathroom down the hallway. If you want to see videos and more sort of videos of tours of these individual rooms, this is a great link to check out. You can see what all the individual halls look like. The other thing that I will share that I often get a question about during this section is what's the opportunity to have a single room with a private bathroom. We generally do not have a large volume of single rooms. It is an option for you to explore and request, but we don't have a lot of those to offer. Generally, upper division students returning will have access to those as returning students, and then we also reserve a lot of our um, single rooms for students who have medical needs. So something to be aware of. If you do have a medical need, that would be the same process as I talked about with the uh, emotional support or the ADA accessible dog, where you'd have to provide a request for an accommodation through our disabled resource student with disability resources to provide a request for a single room or a private bathroom to support an accommodation or need. Okay. So with some of our residence halls, talking a little bit about our application, here is the website right here. Our application is open. It opened in January. And the timeline is kind of goes in three phases. The general information, the general application opens in January and stays open the entire time. It never closes. So between now and August, when school starts, this application is open. And this basically, we get general information about what types of rooms students need, what kind of accommodations, as far as if they have any dietary needs or specific requests. And then you tell us a little bit about the room types that you're interested in, whether you want a suite or a community style room, buildings that you're interested in, things like that. We gather that information and then we wait for a little bit. The next phase is actually starting pretty soon. In April, we'll open up our roommate matching portal, and this is where students are able to find a roommate. If they already know who they want to room with and they have their application online, then we can match students during that time. Or if you don't know who your roommate is, then you can do a search and find someone to be your roommate. And so that stays open between April to late June. And so we have all of the spring and summer, a big part of the summer, to look for a roommate. That gives students enough time to chat through our search engine, talk about things that are important to them, and really try to find that roommate match. We also have the option, if a student is less concerned about trying to find that match, we can also assign students a roommate as well. Or if a student is less interested during the next section, they can just put themselves into a room, and students can get a roommate based on a mutual interest in a room type. So then that does lead me to the third phase. Is late June and July is where students select their room type and their building. And so, as I said, if you're less concerned about roommates, you can just go in and put yourself into a room with another bed open, and someone else can select that room to live with you, or you and your roommate select the building type and the room. One thing to also be aware of is that we have residential learning communities, and these are spaces where students, if they're in an academic program with a college or a major, that they have specific spaces that are open to them. And so oftentimes, if you're choosing to be in a learning community, you would be looking for a roommate who has also been approved to be in that learning community as well. Um, so some of the information about all of the halls and the current rates are at this website that's on this slide as well. So this is a great place to check out. These are our current rates. We'll be updating the new rates in May for students after our Board of Governors approves tuition and the rates for the new academic year. Let me just check here for more messages. Let's see. Oh, here's a great question. Someone was asking about breaks. So, as an international student, we do offer spaces for them to live 12 months out of the year. And Parmalee Hall is specifically our hall that's open 12 months out of the year. So, if you are planning to be in the halls during what we have our winter breaks, our fall break, our spring break, we do have housing that's available throughout all of our breaks. So, you don't need to move off campus. In addition to Parmalee, we also have some other halls that will be open as well based on student needs. So yes, we do have spaces that are open for those breaks. Great question. All right, I'm going to go on to our next slide here. So dining options, students who are living in the residence halls, undergraduate first-year students are required to have a meal plan. And those are our weekly meal plans that are 15, 19, or 19 plus. Some students really, if they're in athletics or our ROTC program, they sometimes want more than 19 meals. And then with every meal, they also have bonus meals. If you happen to run out that week, we have 15 bonus meals throughout the week. Every meal comes with also $150 of RAM cash, and that's just a declining balance that's on your RAM card that you can use at vending machines, some of the shops on campus, and the bookstore, other locations like that. Actually, I take that back. It's not the bookstore, but it's at some of the other shops on campus. And the general the days of operation, the times of operation for dining are early in the morning, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. All right, and then with our nutrition, everything that you want to be finding out about our nutrition is on our website, menus.colostate.edu. So you can look that up to see what types of foods we offer on a every 2 weeks. We change the menus at all of our dining centers. They also have something with our Eat Well labeling, so it provides all the nutritional information. We provide vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, and allergen-free options. And about 25% of our food is all served that's local or organic food that's grown sometimes on campus with our ag programs or in our local area. In addition, we also have a registered dietitian nutritionist on staff. So if a student does have a need to talk to a nutritionist, that they can contact them through the website or the email that I just shared there on the bottom. Also, we have halal options in our dining center as well. Okay, next I'm going to talk a little bit about our on-campus apartment options. And we have a couple of different varieties, so I'll kind of go over the different locations that we have on campus. So the first one is Aggie Village, and this is a combination of housing for our upper division undergraduate students and some graduate students. And these are fully furnished apartments. They're for single undergrad, graduate housing, and these are individual leases by space in the bedroom, as I shared earlier. And the options that we have are our studios, one bedroom, two bedroom, 3 and 4 bedroom apartments. And all of those apartments have air conditioning, a dishwasher, washer and dryer. And again, these are very close to campus, walking distance to all of classrooms and amenities on campus. These are rented by the bedroom with a shared kitchen or bath. And again, these are monthly rents billed to your student account. The next option, is called the International House, and this is focused on more of a graduate student population. These are fully furnished apartments for single students who are graduate. We do also offer them to undergraduate students who are 21 years or older. So it's more of a graduate or older a population of students. And we have 1 to 2 and 2 bedroom options. And these are just west of campus, but still close walking distance, right on the bus line, pretty easy to get to. And these are rented by the bedroom as well with a shared bathroom. There's also laundry within the facility. And again, this is one of the ones where it's a monthly rent that's billed to a student account. The next one I'm going to do an overview is Aggie Village for Families. And so this is a specific location that is geared toward families. We offer both furnished and unfurnished apartments. These are family only housing. The front door opens to the outside. Some of them are on the first floor, some are on the second floor. And then there are 2 bedroom apartments. These are sort of south of campus, close to the other Aggie Village that I talked about it earlier. And these are rented by the apartment units as a whole, which includes a kitchen and a bathroom. So again, these are also billed to the student account on a monthly basis. The next one is University Village, or people often call them UV apartments. And these are come furnished or unfurnished. These are focused on single graduate students and family housing. There's multiple floor plans for students and their families. We also have a townhouse style with 2 levels with a bath and bedroom upstairs. There are some 2 and 3 bedroom options. These are west of campus and again rented by the whole unit, which includes a kitchen and a bath. So for graduate students, a meal plan is not required because you have your kitchen in your apartment. But for ease, you do have access to buy some blocks of meals, which is really convenient for a couple times a week if you don't have the ability to get back home or don't want to bring food with you to campus. You can purchase blocks of 5, and that's charged to your student account, or it can be paid with a credit card. It gives you access to all the dining centers, marketplaces, and express locations on campus. So it's a convenient option if needed. Other things just to talk about are transportation options. CSU is a platinum bike-friendly university, meaning that we really put an emphasis on transportation around bikes. And so we have about 23,000 bikes that are registered on campus with bike racks. If you have never ridden a bike before, we can get you connected with our programs to get you access to a bike, teach you how to ride. Lots of really great bike lanes and trails on campus, really great way to get anywhere at campus within 5 or 10 minutes. And it's more accessible than having a car in some cases. Also with your RAM card, which is your student ID, that is also your bus pass. So you have access to use the bus to get places on campus, off campus, and around CSU. So that's a great option for transportation. We have something called a Zip car. So it's a subscription to rental locations to use a car 2 hours at a time just for doing running errands and things like that. And then you also are able to bring a personal vehicle year round. It does require a parking permit, and there is limited parking on campus. So that's one of the things where sometimes you'll have to park and walk. So something to be prepared of when you're thinking about that. All right, and then for families, I just wanted to share that we do have public schools that children can be go to while they're while living at CSU, and so we just have a whole listing of all of our schools that are connected to the different locations for K through 5, 6 to 8, and then our high school. So if you have more questions about that, you can go onto our website. Also, the Poudre School District is where the school district that we work with. There's also pre-K childcare as well through the Poudre School District. Let's see here. Another resource that we do want to make sure that all students are aware of is our basic needs resource. So if for some reason you need sort of supplemental uh, food, we have a CSU food pantry on campus where students can get groceries for free. We also have something, it's called a pocket pantry. So we'll have a location within the University Village and the Aggie Family location where you can pick up some free of charge groceries or sort of staples for food. And then we also have a great program called RAM Recovery. So it's a texting alert anytime we have a leftover food from either a catered event or a large food that's left over. We put out a message and people are able to come get any kind of leftover food. So it's a great way to help support the community and make sure that we don't waste any food. In addition, if a student does have some sort of hardship, we have a program within case management where we're able to connect and support students with any additional resources if needed. So some more details about how to apply. The website right here is the link that you go to apply. You must be admitted and confirmed to come to CSU first before applying for housing. I recommend completing your application as soon as possible because housing does fill up in the apartment areas. You must pay a deposit to complete your application and be in the queue to get your to get housing. And then if you have any issues, you can always email us if something comes up with your application, housing@colostate.edu. Some other additional information to apply, you need to put down a $300 deposit with a $50 non-refundable application. If for some reason you decide not to come to CSU after you put in your housing application, you'd get the $300 back and then we retain the $50 for administrative costs. And then just as a reminder, first year undergraduates are guaranteed housing, but our non-first year transfer and graduate student, the application for housing is not guaranteed for all students who are not first year undergraduate students. So something to be aware of with that. And then again, I just want to make that available that Off-Campus Life is a great place to also look. I recommend looking at both on-campus and off-campus housing since we can't guarantee housing. And again, that website is ocl.colostate.edu. Some of the resources that they provide is a rental search, apartment complexes that the university works well with and our international students have found great success working with. They also have some listing of short-term or temporary housing and help a lot with roommates, meeting up with roommates and matching roommates. And then a little bit of information about sort of check-in for living on campus. Students should make a plan to check in between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. And if for some reason when you arrive, flights are delayed or after 10 p.m., a student can call our staff on duty and we can meet you to get you checked in and settled after 10 o'clock. You must have a cell phone and have access to cell phone to do that. So we have a duty phone that will be listed with your arrival information. There are also shuttles that students can get from the Denver International Airport to get you to campus. And there'll also be a contact from housing and also international programs if you need any support or assistance with your travel once you get to the United States. And there'll be some apps information about that coming as we send more confirmation. Let's see here. So the last slide here is just Thank you for, all of the attention and being here. If you want to go on our website, we also have a chat function. So you can go into housing.colostate.edu, or again, you can email us at this email location right here, and we can answer any of your questions. I am going to go into our chat and kind of peruse through some of the questions really quick. And then, and if anyone has questions, as well, and you are brave, you can take yourself off of mute and ask as well.
Teresa, we have one from early on, and we've had a similar one. Students wondering if they've already applied and filled out or submitted their deposit, how long will it take to find out if they have a housing assignment?
Yeah, usually around the 1st of August is when they'll find out. So it's one of those things where we still have a little bit of time to find out. That's why we do encourage students also to look at off-campus options as well.
Hi, this is Ashmita from India. I have been admitted to the ecology PhD program. So I would like to ask that I have already applied for the housing for the 1500 villa, and I have deposited the fee. When can I expect the least?
Yeah, so we'll probably give information about when the leases are offered in later in the summer in August. That's when we'll provide basically the confirmation and the lease to let you know that you have a space.
But Professor, the thing is that I have to join by early July, as per my guide. So would I be getting the housing before that?
Oh, okay. Yes, if you've told us about your arrival time coming earlier, we'll definitely have it more in response with that time. So we'll probably provide it in early May if you're coming in the summer.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Vansh, and I'm an incoming freshman this year. And I wanted to know what are the residential learning communities for economic students?
Yeah. So within the major for economics, we don't have a specific residential learning community. However, there are some learning communities that are general, that are open that any student is able to apply to. And so the name of that learning community is Key Community, which I highly recommend. Students live in Braden Hall. And so it's based on theme or just an interest in gathering in a community. So check that out as well. I think that would be a great option for getting in a community of people. And they won't have a specific learning community for students who are an economic major, but there could be some themes and topics that you might be interested in applying to. So I would check out Key Community for general learning community options.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem. Great questions.
Teresa, I got a question from a student asking if it's okay or if it's possible to apply to both residence halls and apartments.
Oh, thank you for clarifying. Yes. Yes. So with your $350 deposit, you can apply for both residence halls and apartments with that same deposit. And so that's a great option to kind of cover all your bases to see if there is an option to live on either the halls or the apartments. So yes, that's something that you can do. See.
You can unmute yourself if you would like to ask a question. Someone just asked.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question about the payment option. I'm from Iran and our account is banned and we couldn't pay internationally. It's really hard. So what way you recommend? Is it good to get dormitory or off campus or on campus? Which is better for me? Which I could pay in person?
Robert, do you
Teresa,
have some guidance on this one?
Yeah, I can reach out. I'm gonna share my email with you and we can just chat after this.
Thank you very much.
All right. What kind of other questions do we have? Oh, I see one that's posted here about access to things like the rec center or a gym. So with your student ID and you're being a student, you do have access to what we call the CSU Rec Center. So it does have a pool, it does have workout centers, things like that. That is something that you have access to. It's right on campus. There is an Olympic-sized pool and a large gym location with also classes that you can take as well. So it's a really great facility.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I was wondering, I applied for an apartment in February, and until now I haven't received any offer. Is that normal? Do I expect also the offer to come in August? I'm a graduate student, PhD.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you applied early because it does help. It won't be until this summer, so that is normal. We'll start making offers this summer, generally in August.
Well, actually, I'll be arriving in June, July.
So if you're
I'm a
starting
little
this,
bit scared.
okay, if you're starting this summer, then we'll start making offers in May.
In May,
Hmm.
early May or late May?
I would say probably mid to late May.
So late May. Okay, I was just wondering about some options about the apartments. Does it have a washing machine? Considering the housekeeping, is there some housekeeping available, or we do the cleaning ourselves? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's a great
I'm
question.
sorry
So
for the
there,
question. I'm sorry
no,
for the.
it's a great question. It's good to clarify. So there is laundry in some cases that's in the unit. In other cases, it's a facility where you go and do your laundry. There are some resources that are not connected to CSU if you want to have a laundry service. But for the most part, you're responsible for the own house cleaning and doing your laundry, whether it's in your unit or outside the unit in our sort of large laundry facility that you have access to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, go ahead.
Okay. So I just had two more questions. I just wanted to ask, are there any halls that have single gender floors?
Yeah, in the residence halls, we do any of the floors that are community style, meaning that the students are living in two students in a room and their bathroom is down the hall. Those are all single gender. And then just to clarify with our suite style, those are set up. Would be two students of the same gender sharing a bathroom, and right next door could be another room that has students in the opposite gender. And then we also have a building called Summit Hall where there is about 80 spaces. It's called open housing where students are assigned based on not based on their gender. Just so you're aware that that is a floor. We don't do any automatic assignments. Students can only choose their spaces. So I would say if you're looking for a single gender floor, make sure that you're looking for the community style floors within our residence hall.
Hi, I have a quick question in terms of this is my anxiety speaking. Just in case, by the time I apply, I was just looking at the off-campus stuff, and if things fill up and if I have to stay somewhere else, I have to rent an apartment out in the community. I heard you mentioning about buses. Do we have buses from the university that goes into the community?
Yes, there are. So there, with your CSU RAM card ID, that also includes your bus pass. So there are buses that would get you through the bus services, and also some of the apartment complexes have their own shuttles as well. So buses are highly popular, and lots of people are using them to get around town.
Thank you.
Great questions.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. I want to say thank you for your information, and I want to ask a very specific questions. So I already submit my apartment applications. And after I submit my application, I went back and I can change my apartment preferences. I
Mhm.
add a few more options, and I wonder if I need to resubmit my application, or the website can just record my changes and the school would consider like to consider me to the new preferences.
Well, as long as you filled it out and saved it, I think you should be fine. I don't think you need to resubmit or anything. If you do have any concerns, you can always send an email to double check, or go to our website and go to that chat option, and they can help you with any kind of specifics. So feel free to send us an email. We can always kind of confirm if you have any concerns.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
Do students who've joined an RLC have to apply to that hall, like the
Mm.
specific RLC hall, or can they
Yes.
live elsewhere? Okay.
Oh, okay. So if you're in a learning community, you generally do need to live in the halls. I do know that if you're, let's say, the honors program, they have about 500 students are in the honors program. If that honors program does fill up within this designated honors space, students can live in any of the any of the spaces in the residence halls. If you are first-year students, you are required to live on campus, though. You don't have the ability to live off campus. That's one of the requirements of being a first-year student.
Okay. I would probably qualify as over 21. So
Okay.
in that scenario, would I have to apply for an exemption, or would I automatically be exempt?
You would automatically be exempt.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Hi. My son has applied for the fall of 2024, and he has come into it. So we were just filling out the housing application, and I had a few doubts. So I wanted to inquire that since we really liked Laurel Village, because he has some eye allergies to mold and pollen, and which are easily communicable and infectious as well at times. So to avoid such situations, we were thinking Laurel Village is a really good option because it has single suites. Single rooms, private rooms. So is it possible? We have spoken to the disabilities and we finished our meeting with the accommodation specialist, but I just wanted to inquire if Laurel Village could be an option we could put as a first preference as an undergraduate freshman.
Yeah, I feel so. Just to make sure, because it's a little bit of a weak connection. You're just asking. You have a student who is lots of allergies and specific needs, and so you've already connected with Disability Services, have had a meeting, and you wanted to confirm that Laurel Village is a good option. Yep, I would recommend Laurel Village. I think another place to look into would be Summit Hall, because they do have the rooms with the single bathroom. And it sounds like maybe an air conditioning unit is something that's helpful for students' allergies. So those might be two options.
Okay. Thanks for that information, ma'am. But I believe Summit Hall has a gender inclusive housing as well.
Yes, it's just one floor. And so that's not the entire building. It's just 80 beds. There's about 500 students who live in that hall. So there's other locations in that building where it's not the open gender. It's the scenario where you have two students who are sharing 2 rooms or a single room and a bathroom, but then someone might be further down the hall who is another gender, but there's no shared bathroom. So it's the suite style option.
Okay, so we were also looking at gender specific floors, and a single private room because of his allergies, and gender specific floors because we're coming from India. Over here you have even different cafeterias for different genders in colleges and hostels. We're not used to that kind of lifestyle. But so to avoid culture shock and to be able to adjust into the first year and be able to focus on studies. So
Sure.
which is the hall you would suggest to apply Laurel Village? And
Yeah, I would say, the community style floors are the ones where we would, that are mostly just single gender. When there is a private bathroom, if there's a possibility there could be another gender on the floor, but not sharing a bathroom. All of our dining centers, and areas like that are open to all students. So we don't have, sort of different locations for different genders of students.
so you don't have the all male floors or all female floors, like as in Allison, Ingersoll, Edward,
Yes, that's correct.
but they're not single private rooms.
That's
They don't
correct. They
have.
do not have a private room. Yep. They're shared rooms with a bathroom down the hallway.
You mean the community style?
The community style, correct. Yep.
Okay, so Summit Hall has a single private room with
They
a
do not have a
single.
community. They have private rooms, but they do not have the community styled a single gender floor.
Okay, so in that case, could you give us some preferences other than Laurel Village?
Laurel Village is similar where it has the private bathrooms inside, but they're not single gender. The actual rooms are single gender, but the floors are not single gender.
Okay. So so if you want mold free, single gender floors and single private room, which are the halls you would suggest to list down?
I'm sorry, I could not hear the last part of what you were saying.
Oh, sorry. So if we want mold-free rooms, a single gender floors and single private rooms, so which other halls you would suggest to put down on our list other than Laurel Village?
Laurel Village, again, it's not single gender floors, it's single gender rooms. I think the other location I'd shared would be the Summit Hall, location, potentially, Academic Village, but those are specific to students who are in the honors program and the engineering program.
Right. That's why we're really confused. So, could we set up a meeting with you or any of the housing specialists then?
Can you say that one piece again? It's really hard for me to understand what you're saying. It's the connection is not very strong.
Yeah, it might be easier if you typed your question into the chat. It's very hard to hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now, ma'am?
It's better.
Yeah. So, sorry for taking up the time, but I just want to know if we could set up a Zoom meeting with you or any of the housing specialists.
Yeah. If you actually, maybe if you send, why don't you start by sending us an email, housing@colostate.edu, and then we can set that time up and potentially answer your question in a better way, so you have more clarity.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, can I ask a question?
Yes, please. Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks for your great information. I want to ask something about my pets. I'm married. I'm coming in fall. I suppose maybe I should be arrived before that, maybe in August or July. I'm trying to search for temporary housing or something outside the university because, as far as I noticed, you mentioned that pets are not allowed on campus, despite the disability issue you mentioned. What are the average costs I should spend or how can I search about the housing outside the university? Could you please explain?
Yeah, so just to confirm, yeah, correct. We don't allow pets. The only way it happens is if it's an emotional support or a disability or an ADA accessible animal.
Right.
The best place to kind of look at rates and all the offerings for off campus is it's ocl.colostate.edu, and that's off campus life. And that is it has a search engine to find the different locations, and you can look to see if pets are allowed, and when leases start, things like that. They also have staff there that you can send an email and they can help assist you. If you have additional questions, the staff will be really great to provide some support as well.
Thank you very much.
So one of the questions that came up is what's more expensive, living on or off campus? I think sometimes when you're looking at just costs and the comparison, it depends on the location, the types of amenities. I do think when it comes to apartments, it tends to be cheaper on campus, but that just depends on the amenities. There might be something specific that you're needing or prefer as far as what's in your apartment. I would say our apartments are adequate. They're nice apartments, but they're not sort of the most sort of luxury type of apartment setting. They're probably those types of apartments off campus. So you can kind of compare those on both the our website with rates versus what's on OCL. So kind of depends on what you're looking for as far as amenities. I did just see someone post something about finding work on campus, and I'll talk about that again. Housing and Dining Services is one of the largest employers at CSU. We employ probably over 500 students working in dining, and so that's an option. Lots of students find jobs at dining. Also, in our facilities, I think I saw someone ask about being an RA. So students who want to be a resident assistant or a community coordinator in our apartments, they usually, after living on campus for 2 semesters, you're able to apply for an RA. And basically an RA, resident assistants, or a CC, a community coordinator, are the student staff who sort of welcome and help other students living in the community, provide some safety and security as well.
Hi, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Esther. I will be transferring from the Bahamas. And I just wanted to ask if, I know you said that the halls are not guaranteed for transfer students, correct?
Correct.
So I wanted to know, what about the apartments? Are they not guaranteed for transfers as well?
That is correct. They are not guaranteed. We have limited spaces for transfer students in both apartments and the apartments. The residence halls and the apartments.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. I noticed some of the off-campus locations it says 30 plus minutes, and I don't know yet how my schedule with classes would be like. I was wondering how safe it is if it gets later in the day or earlier in the day if I have to access the campus, in terms of safety of on and off to that distance.
Yeah, I would say, obviously if you're taking a bus back and forth, you should be safe. There's generally safety in that. I would say it's not safe for walking. I wouldn't recommend riding your bike in the dark either. So it's one of those things of if you're driving, that it's generally pretty safe. We also work with their Colorado University police department. So if you need someone to walk you to your car, or just kind of help you get to a location, they can assist with that as well. 30 minutes, that might be some of the locations that are more south of town. So off-campus life can give you some resources to support with that as well, as far as how to find some of the best ways to get to campus, whether it's a bus route, or ride shares, things like that.
Excuse me, I had another question.
Mhm.
Does the housing guarantee for first years extend to apartments?
It does not. These are for first year students who are living in the apartments who are undergraduate students. So it's just undergraduate students who are living in the residence halls.
Okay, so it's just for the resident halls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Teresa. My daughter is coming there on a scholarship with the golf program.
Mm-hmm.
The coaches kind of intimated to us that her roommate had already been selected. I think she was with a swimmer. Is that generally the case? We don't need to do anything else other than kind of.
Yeah. So she should apply. So she should apply for housing, but yes, generally what athletics does is they will make sure that they house or roommate with another athletic student who is an athlete. So just make sure that she does apply for housing, and then the coaches will be communicating with you or your student about the placement with another athlete. So just make sure that she does not skip the application process. She does need to apply.
Yeah, she has done the application, and I think
great.
there was like a $350 deposit, but that was waived. I think, is that normal?
Some students, if they're on scholarship, it gets waived. Also, students who have some sort of like Pell Grant or other type of scholarship, that does happen often.
Okay, cool. That's great. You've answered my question. Thank you so much.
Yep. All right, I'll take maybe one or two more questions.
Hi, Teresa.
Yes.
My name is Arjit, and sorry, I'm extremely sorry that I just joined this call, but I just have like one question. So I have recently applied for Colorado State University, and I got an admit for MS program for
Great.
computer information system. I just wanted to ask, like, when would the enrollment start for the course?
We'd have to get a little bit more information from your academic program. Some programs I've heard people are starting in the summer and some are starting in the fall. When you fill out your housing application, you can let us know. For summer, we actually just opened up the applications for the summer, and the fall are already open. So maybe talk with your academic program a little bit when the start is. If it's in the fall, it's the second week of August. If it's the summer, usually that's in mid-May.
It's in fall. Do you have any idea for the fall? Like, is it already open or what? Because I haven't received any email regarding enrollments which has been started, and I am like almost very much active on the portal as well. A portal has been assigned, right? So, but I don't see the option for enrollment anywhere.
So the first thing you do is you would confirm that you're coming to CSU, and then the next thing after that, that would kind of start some of the next processes with housing. So maybe go back to your the information you got when you were applied and were admitted, and it probably give you more information about how to confirm. And then if you go in to find housing information, it would just be housing.colostate.edu to find our housing application. And then also this recording will be posted in 2 days. So you can go back and rewatch it and see some of the other details that you might have missed earlier.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, let's take. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to ask you a last question about the RAs. What are the eligibility benefits of being an RA and privileges of being an RA? And what is it? Also,
oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry. Also, what is the joining date? Because August 19th is when we're supposed to when the classes start, but when can we come in to start buying stuff and shifting into the rooms?
Yeah, so I'll start with the RA question. So students can apply to be an RA after they lived in the hall for 2 semesters. We just basically want students to have an awareness for what it's like to live on campus. We also have another position in the apartments area. It's called the community coordinator, and they are able to apply. So usually it's generally the application process starts the fall of the year before. So students who are just coming to the university now would not be eligible to be an RA, but they could do it the next year. And so keep an eye out for that process to start next fall, usually October of 2024. And then we'll have a process for interviews. As far as moving in, you'll get some more information about international student orientation, the move in for that, but it's generally about a week and a half or so before school starts. And Bronwyn, do you have more details about the days that our international students can come for orientation?
Yes. So orientation, we have events that run starting on Monday of that week of orientation week. They're optional with mandatory events on Tuesday. When you are moving into on-campus housing, you'll have that option to select your move-in date. So I recommend choosing the earliest one. We do recommend that students arrive that weekend before orientation, which is August 10th and 11th. And we will also be doing some, we're still working out the details, but August 9th, 10th, and 11th, we'll have some welcome tables at the Denver International Airport. So if you are arriving that weekend, you can stop by. We'll have some water, snacks, SIM cards, and help get you to your shuttle, which we recommend either Groom or Landline as a shuttle to get from the airport to Fort Collins. But we recommend arriving that weekend so that you're there and able to get settled and get a little bit comfortable before we start orientation week activities.
Oh, thank you so much. Also, I wanted to inquire about, do you get free housing and dining for RAs?
Yes, I apologize. I forgot to say the compensation is housing and dining. They cover your room and your meal plan as an RA.
And is there a single private room for an RA or is it a double?
It's a single room. It depends on community style or suite style, depending on the bathroom situation, whichever you're assigned to.
Thank you so much for your information.
Okay. I think that wraps it up for our presentation. Bronwyn, is there anything else that you want me to cover or something that I might have missed that was important?
I think that's good. We have recorded this. Once we have the opportunity to just cut out some of the things at the start, we will have this available to anyone who wants to go back and watch.
Yeah, and just one thing to highlight is we did add this chat function to our website, and so that might be something that would be helpful to answer some of your sort of easier questions that are less specific to your specific account. The chat function might be an easy way to get some information quickly if you think of something later. Thanks so much, everyone.